Our city knows the sweet taste of victory. From the Stanley Cup to a Division I title win.
That still doesn't feel real.
A triumph isn't an end.
Now, new stories are being written, and Fox 5 and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network is following every team on ice. With our UNLV Skatin Rebel national champions.
It's great for the city, it's great for hockey.
How will they defend their title?
Let's bring it home!
And the Henderson Silver Knights, skating with something to prove while building tomorrow's legends.
It's great to be able to teach and grow off a win.
Plus, how our youth teams are teaching kids to fly on ice. And what's in store for the new faces of the VGK, including their monsters in the north.
The Golden Knights are beefing up their minor leagues with the Night Monsters. These teams, our teams.
Where their victories become our victories. Building the future of hockey, one player at a time.
Vegas wanted hockey, Vegas got hockey.
Covering every team on the ice, this is Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome inside another edition of Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm your host, Vince Sapienza. Let's waste no time, fire home a snapshot of what is in store. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to take a look at all the action from the week that was for the Knights, plus we're going to spotlight NHL debut of the goaltender, Carl Lindbom. I'll introduce you to the newest captain in Henderson, Jaycob Megna, and the Skatin Rebels have hit the road in a little bit of adversity. I catch up with the head coach, Anthony Vinieri Greener, as well. But first, we take a trip to Massachusetts.
Brad Marchand's first NHL goal comes short-handed. Marchand scores! Marchand, he'll drag it right in for a chance. He scores!
Now you're probably wondering, why are we leading off the show with Brad Marchand's return to Boston from this past week? Well, the reason is quite simple. It's because his former coach was chirping him the next day. And that former coach just so happens to be the current Golden Knights bench boss.
I saw him bawling his eyes out there on TV. I thought it was great. He's such a smack talker. He's going to hear about that on Saturday. But he's one of the best chirpers, so I brought that up for that. But I felt good for him.
Now, Marchand would have the last laugh on Saturday, picking up an assist as his Panthers handed the Golden Knights their first regulation loss of the season, shutting out Vegas in the process 3-0. Now, the other story out of that game was Cole Schwindt. The Golden Knights, he was with them all through training camp, but placed on waivers and picked up by the team who drafted him originally in Florida. He played in his first game of the season against the Knights and scored his second career NHL goal. His first came with Vegas a season ago, but that was an empty netter. This one actually came against a netminder in Akira Schmid, which also, again, was his former team.
That's a part of it too. I think it's another hockey game, and I'm not going to really read into that too much. But it feels good. I think every game that you win is good for this team, and it's exciting moving forward.
Hockey players will always tell you that you have to have a short memory in the sport. Whatever has happened, you move on, get better. Well, that's all well and good when it comes to wins and losses, but when it comes to big hits and injuries, there are just some things players won't or refuse to forget, like this play. Tampa and Vegas at the Fortress, March 23rd of last season. Tomas Hertl gets shoved into the boards on a breakaway. That injury kept him out for nearly 3 weeks. And now you fast forward 217 days, and Keegan Colasar tells Emil Lilleberg, the guy who committed the crime on Hertl, that he's going to have to pay for those sins. This happened 31 seconds into the game between the Knights and Lightning, and while it won't go down as the most memorable tilt, I can tell you the appreciation from Hertl and the rest of the team will be remembered for years to come. Now, the main reason this game will be remembered is because we saw the NHL debut of goaltender Carl Lindbom. More than 4 years after being taken in the 7th round of the NHL draft, Lindbom enjoyed his rookie lap and shined in his first start for the Golden Knights.
Kucherov carries it down a little bit further, centers it across, and Lindbom with a big save. Walking in, shot, save Lindbom. And Lindbom will cover.
It's awesome. Obviously, it's kind of a surreal feeling getting this opportunity.
A huge moment for Carl Lindbom, the 22-year-old 7th-round pick for the Golden Knights back in 2021. His first game in the NHL.
In just his second season playing pro hockey in North America and his first National Hockey League start,
The 22-year-old Carl Lindbom made 26 saves, including 9 while shorthanded, before losing to the Lightning in overtime 2-1.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was unreal. It's really hard to play your first game, and especially for a goalie. I thought he was super calm in there and made key save at key moment. I think he's one of the reasons why we have a point tonight.
He kept us in the game. Hell of a game. Good kid and apparently a really good goalie.
And Hedman back to Moser, long drive, tap save, Lindbom.
He gave us every chance to win. I feel bad for him. We couldn't have got him a win. That's hockey some nights. You know, he was there for us. And as a young guy, you don't know. But I was asked the other day, I wasn't that worried about Carl, to be honest. I think he played well the second half of the year. He was good in training camp. He had good composure. You know, it'd be kind of like, will he run into some tough luck and get some bad breaks? He didn't. Got one to go back the other way. So he stopped the ones he should have and a few more along the way. No bad goals. I thought he was really good for us in there. Tracked the puck well. So he should feel good about his game. I know goalies judge themselves whether they win or lose, but he should feel really good.
And it was a feel-good afternoon in Tampa for the entire Lindbom family. Mom, dad, girlfriend, all in attendance, along with some other special guests.
My mom was an exchange student in Tampa many years back, and we still have contact with the family there. So I know that family. I know their kids and their kids.
And it turned out to be a full circle moment for Carl, who started his first NHL game in the same building he saw his first NHL game.
I went to one when I was very young. I was 6 years old. I had a massive fever. I fell asleep during the game. Yeah, so that was my first game.
Now, it wasn't just those who knew him best that were impressed. During the game, two-time Stanley Cup champion and fellow goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky gave him a fist bump on the way to their respective locker rooms. And then, after the contest, three-time Cup champion Alec Martinez had this to say.
Very impressive first outing, and you saw his parents there, you know, clapping. I'm sure that was, you know, they would have preferred their son to get the win, but, you know, he does deserve a round of, you know, applause for that performance. He played very, very well.
Carl Lindbom, the reason the Golden Knights get a point.
So good on Carl, but let's take a trip to Caniac country. Just 8 days after getting the Hurricanes at T-Mobile Arena, it's part 2 in Raleigh, and we start in the first. Pavel Dorofeyev gets back to being Scorofeyev, scoring not once, but twice in the opening 20 minutes. The NHL's leading goal scorer becomes the first Golden Knight to score 9 in his first 10 games. Roadies led 2-1 after 1. We jump to the third, now tied at 3. Jack Eichel, celebrating his 29th birthday, gets a very special delivery from Ivan Barbashev, springs him loose on the breakaway, and then on the very next shift, Barbashev with an absolute gift to number 9, who gets number 8. Vegas take 3 of 6 on the road trip, a 6-3 victory. Eichel finishes with a 3-point outing, and he now paces the league with 19 points in his first 10 outings.
The team's playing well. You know, I play with some great players, and been the benefactor of some really good hockey and some good plays, and just trying to, you know, stick with the process and help the team win hockey games. And you know, I think when you do that, sometimes you see some you know, points come with it, but tons of credit to the whole group, and there's a lot of guys that are playing really well.
Barbashev through center ice, driving wide on Fensori, drags it around the net, centered, and Eichel scores!
It's a nice birthday present, isn't it? It's a great rush by him, great play. You know, I didn't have to do much, just kind of tap it into an empty net. So it was a great play by him. Obviously got us a little bit of insurance, and it was a really good effort on the road from us. It's a good team. They were desperate tonight. They play hard. They put a lot of pressure on you, and give the guys a ton of credit. Schmieder played great in net. I thought our D stepped up. We're really hard to play against, and you know, we got some timely goals.
Now, despite all the ice, we're just getting warmed up here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. When we return, I'll introduce you to the newest Silver Knights captain, Jaycob Megna, hear his goals for Henderson, and what the coaches expect out of the Knights blue liner this season.
You're watching Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. Vince Sapienza here. The Henderson Silver Knights are officially the hottest team in the AHL's Pacific Division. Winners of 4 straight HSK completed the weekend sweep over San Diego. Let's start the action from Friday night at Lee's Family Forum. Down 2-1 in the third. Jackson Hallam ties the game with his first American Hockey League goal. The game would go to overtime, and with 15 seconds left in the extra frame, it's Braden Bowman scoring his second of the night. That is the game winner for a 3-2 victory. And then 24 hours later, the Knights showed off their depth. 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers. Lucas Cormier, he scored his first of the season in the third and his first goal since April of last year. Also notable, goaltender Cameron Whitehead, just called up from Tahoe, earned an assist on the goal, his first AHL point, and it comes in his first American Hockey League victory. He finished with 37 saves in the 5-2 win.
Felt great. Obviously got the opportunity to come up, and I just want to make the most of it, and felt good to get the first one. I've kind of just learned really quick that you just got to be where your feet are in pro hockey, and things could change really quick. So, just trying to make the most of it while I'm here and try to stack up some wins.
Real solid, just like our goaltending has been all year, whether it's been Carl or Vic's. But happy for Cam. Came in last year, has gone down to Tahoe there for the first weekend, has just done everything we've asked of him, like all our goalies. So excited for him to get his first win. We just worry about the game that's in front of us. Even though we're playing the same opponent, we're worried about ourselves. We knew they were going to be ready to play tonight, which they were. Cam was very, very good early, let us settle into the game, and then from there our game built.
Now, what makes the Silver Knights' current run even more impressive is they were able to keep the winning streak going without their newly appointed captain. A day after earning the C on his sweater, Jaycob Megna earned his first call with the big club, though not before I chatted with the 5th captain in Silver Knights history. This past June, in front of friends and family, the hometown kid, Jaycob Megna, had a dream realized, becoming a Stanley Cup champion. 2 weeks later, on the first day of free agency, Megna signed a 2-year contract with the Golden Knights, marking his second stint with the organization. He was an assistant captain for the Chicago Wolves during the 2019-20 season, which was then the AHL affiliate for Vegas.
It feels like a whole new organization, to be honest, minus a couple people. So it's good to have a little bit of familiarity, but like I said, it's like you're coming into a new organization for sure.
One of those familiar faces is Dylan Coughlin, who coincidentally is in the midst of his second go-around with the VGK.
I had no kids, and he was single, and now he's got a fiance, and I got 3 kids. So it's funny, we were D partners in Chicago, and now it looks like we'll be D partners again tomorrow. So things change, but things stay the same. So and we've kept in touch over the years. So it's been good to be back with him, and we'll see how it goes.
Megna enters his 13th season of pro hockey. That includes 6 different organizations. This is the 4th season of his career he's been named a captain, and the 6th time he's been named as part of the leadership group.
He's a big piece for our organization. He's a guy that was part of a Stanley Cup winning team and organization in Florida last year. Also their minor league team that he played in for half the year or more last year was Charlotte, and they went to the Calder Cup final. So he's been around winning organizations and winning teams the last few years. He's been a guy who's been around the league. Our organization identified him as somebody that can help, whether he's in the NHL and helping the big club or helping us here as an older leader and driver of our defense. And we expect him to be hard to play against, to play to all his strengths, and then help lead us.
Job deflects wide, back door, there is Megna. Jaycob putting it on goal.
During the preseason, Megna played in 3 of the 7 exhibition games, including this one in Colorado, where he went head-to-head with a fellow Stanley Cup champion and older brother Jason, who is the current captain of the Avalanche AHL affiliate, the Colorado Eagles.
Apparently it is the 6th ever meeting of the brothers in a hockey game professionally.
Jaycob has played in over 430 AHL games and 193 in the NHL. And while he leads in Henderson, that won't stop his drive to becoming a full-time contributor at the next level.
I think for me, coming from a different system, it was a lot of just learning the way they like to play. Obviously, new coaches, new systems, all that stuff. So it's a bit of a learning curve and just trying to get acclimated as quickly as possible. Obviously, some familiar faces still around, but a lot of new stuff and just trying to hammer home the details. Staying ready and hopefully get an opportunity up there at some point, and just really trying to make sure I'm playing my best and ready whenever that time comes.
Now here's a full snapshot of the Silver Knights leadership group for the 2025-26 season. Jonas Ronberg, Mitch McLean, and Kai Uchez, all returning players from a season ago, will serve as the assistant captains. Now Ronberg has been a member of HSK since its inaugural season in 2020. He's the all-time leader in games played for the franchise and second in goals, assists, and points. The 31-year-old McLean is in his 9th AHL season with over 370 games on his resume. And as for Uchez, he's in the midst of his second AHL season with Henderson, signing an entry-level contract with the Golden Knights this past March.
Kevin Wall, a goal already tonight, feeding his centering pass. Stanek scores. A turnover, here's Kevin Wall. On a break alone, Kevin Wall shorthanded. He scores, and he beats Suchanek on the backhand 5-hole.
The Tahoe Night Monsters moved into third place in the Western Conference standings this past weekend, completing a two-game sweep on the road in Tulsa. Sloan Stanek and Kevin Wall, who you just saw, combined for 16 points in their last 3 games, 8 points apiece. This weekend was the start of an 11-game road trip for the Night Monsters, who are not back playing in Tahoe until November 20th. Still ahead on Hockey in the Desert Weekly, it is time to turn our attention to the Scarlet and Gray. The Skatin Rebels hit the road as well as some adversity. I catch up with UNLV hockey bench boss Anthony Vinieri-Greener next. Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. The Skatin Rebels jumped out to a 6-0 start, but in the midst of their first road trip of the season, the top team in the country lost a physical, hard-fought game to the number 2 team by a score of 4-2. Shortly after that game with Minot State, I caught up with UNLV's bench boss, Anthony Vinieri-Greener.
Coach Anthony Vinieri-Greener joining us now. Coach, let's just start with, you're on the road. First real road trip of the season. You guys were at ASU a week ago. Now the competition gets a little bit more stiff. You just battled Minot State, another top team in the ACHA. Bit of adversity strikes here today.
Yeah, it's to be expected. It was hard fought. We're down some guys, but for our group, it's kind of the next man up. And we fell a little bit short today, but it's a learning curve. You started out the season 6-0. It's going to come sooner or later. But for our group, I think they battled at time, but there were some of the things that, we need to clean up. Obviously, discipline. We take 7 penalties and, you're spending 17 minutes in the box in a 5-minute major. It's going to be tough to win against a team like that. So, what Waz and Minot have done and continue to do, it's good for our league. And, it showed tonight. They're number 2 in the country. Nothing's going to be easy for our group. And we ran into a buzzsaw tonight. So, we live, learn. We'll watch some film tonight, and we're right back at it.
So you fall 4-2 again, first loss of the season, and I understand it's still October, but how much do you chalk this up to teams are really seeing the target on your back and wanting what you guys achieved from a season ago? Because early on, you start 6-0, but these have been some tightly contested games. Teams are coming out pretty physical against you.
Yeah, we said it from day one, from all the kids arrived. It was the first thing I said to them, was like, we are going to get everyone's best game every single night. We're at the top of the mountain. Everybody's climbing to get to the top of the mountain. So what do you have to do? You got to knock the guy off the mountain. And we know that. So if we don't put our best foot forward and, be the hardest working team on the ice, 1, and 2, stay disciplined, it's going to be a tough, a tough game for us. So you live and learn. And like you said, it's October. Championships aren't won in October. So I'd rather lose this one now. And then the best thing about this is we get to play Minot at the Chicago Showcase in 3 weeks. So we'll get healthy and we'll be better.
So before we dive into Minot State, let's go back a little bit to the road trip at ASU. Again, as I said, tightly contested games both days. You win 2 games in less than 24-hour span. Quite a quirk in the schedule. But I'm curious, what did you learn about your team on that first set of road trip tests?
Yeah, we went in that game down, 6 guys that are normally in our lineup. So that was step 1, next man up. And we proved we can, those guys are a valuable asset to our team. Doesn't matter if you're the 15th forward or the 4th forward. And what I loved about it is there was so much adversity in that weekend. The times playing midweek, how we, there was a bad deflection in front, and we just set we settled in and we just found a way to win. You know, good teams find a way to win. It could be pretty or it could be ugly, and they were both ugly wins. But at the end of the day, we were on top, and we're going to grow as a team from those wins, and those will help us, come the national tournament.
I know things don't get any easier with 2 games with Jamestown now. What are you hoping to learn, right? What I imagine the reaction from your team in its totality is something you're going to be keeping a close eye on, aside from the results.
Yeah, no, this is a new group. We touched on it when I first spoke with you, and a new foundation. Now, what is this group going to do tomorrow? What to show what they can do? There's a little adversity. Obviously, you want to come on a 3-game road trip. You want to knock out and get that first win. You just, everybody settles in. It's more relaxed. But now our backs are against the wall, and I'm excited to see this group's young. They're highly talented. They're great kids. Now, what are they going to do when our back's against the wall? And this is a great early test. And I love this spot we're in. We have a night's rest. We'll watch some film tomorrow. We bus over to Jamestown. We'll get a nice meal and get a nap, and we're right back at it. So it's not like we have to sit with a loss and, you have to wait a whole week to play. So for me, as a coach, a huge opportunity to hand. You play the number 4 team in the country after coming off a tough loss. What are you guys made of as a group?
As you said, you get Minot State again at the Chicago Classic. 2 big tests against Jamestown this week. Coach, best of luck. We'll talk to you when you get back.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
And as we close up shop, it is time to clear the ice, where it is officially spooky season. Halloween Friday, which means the annual Golden Knights Halloween party and their epic costumes, a pair of original Misfits and their wives, the Smiths, and the Carlsons deciding to dress up as the pop group ABBA. Now, I feel like it's a safe bet to say that this was Wild Bill's idea. ABBA, like Carlson, Swedish, and known for the hit Dancing Queen, which always plays at T-Mobile Arena when William Karlsson does anything, specifically scoring goals. But they weren't the only ones dressing up, obviously. As you can see here, Ivan Barbashev, I believe that's Ivan Barbashev, tough to tell, but he is Cousin It. And then you got Pavel Dorofeyev. I think that's the Kim Possible type stuff. And then Alexander Holtz there on your right, a cowboy, cowgirl, classic. Thanks for joining us here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. We'll see you next week.